What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey, and as usual, I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. Today, we got to talk about Bill Russell. And was he the guy, right? Like when we talk GOAT conversations, why is Bill Russell not mentioned? Let's talk more about it. And you know what I'm saying? He is my frat brother, so, young to the noops. But before we do that, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Comment, tell anyone about the show. Try and get the ratings up a little bit, just a little bit. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about Bill Russell. And is he the guy? And I think when you look at Bill Russell, when we think about Bill Russell has got to be considered one of them ones, ladies and gentlemen. He's the leading champion recipient in the NBA. Got to talk about it. Then he's also a two-time player coach. That means he played and coached and won a championship. Ladies and gentlemen, that's star-studded right there. So again, when we talk about Bill Russell, we got to consider him as the guy. But now, I got to ask you guys, is it disrespectful not to be called the GOAT for Bill Russell? I don't know. Because that makes me question, well, what's your definition of GOAT, right? Like everybody has a different definition. What's your definition of greatest? How about all time? Does all time encompass high school, college, NBA? Because if so, we may have to kick Jordan out of the GOAT discussion, and Braun, and Kobe. Like, there's a couple people that might get the boot depending on what defines as all time for you. So again, I think a lot of times people look at the guy who scored the last shot, right? Like Jordan has those wonderful moments, right? It's those key moments that we think about. I did do a little research. Because I got to say this, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Russell, he is still one of them ones. Although I will say, when I did try to find clutch shots for Bill Russell, I was not able to find that. And keep in mind, I first said, you know what? They really won't record it like that, Trey, back in the day. So maybe that's the reason why. But then I did a little look-see, and I looked for Wilt Chamberlain. And he at least does have a game-winning shot, like a final shot. And that was, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's tough. Keep in mind, there is somebody who was recorded as taking the final shot during Bill Russell's time on Bill Russell's team, and that's John Havlicek. So again, ladies and gentlemen, when we're talking about Bill Russell, it's fair to say that he is a GOAT. Like you have to consider him. But the thing I think that knocks Bill Russell, unfortunately, is people don't think, oh well, he was the guy. Because again, he ain't shooting the ball at the end. Now let's kind of make this present day, right? Let's take it to let's use like Steph Curry and Draymond Green. I'm not saying that Draymond Green is Bill Russell. I'm not saying that Draymond Green is going to be in the GOAT discussion. I'm saying that people remember John Havlicek's shot, and that might make him be viewed as the guy. You still know the greatness of Bill Russell. Bill Russell could be viewed as a top 10 player in the NBA's all time. Even still, the fact that he wasn't the leading scorer all the time might derail him a little bit, unfortunately. And that's why I bring up Draymond Green. Remember, Draymond Green could have won Finals MVP that first stint for the Warriors. But instead, Steph actually outplayed Draymond. If I'm being honest, Draymond would have got the nod, though. So we know how great Bill Russell is. People actually flock to the scorers a little bit more. That's it. So again, he is that guy. Unfortunately, we could have had some more data on him making the final shot. And again, ladies and gentlemen, when we're talking about Bill Russell, let's call a spade too, right? Because Bill Russell is still one of them ones, okay? And we're talking about his career. Cannot get this thing to work. Oh my gosh. When we're talking about his career, ladies and gentlemen, this man is an 11-time, I can go full screen. This man's an 12-time All-Star, 4-time total rebound champ, 11-time NBA champ, 11-time All-NBA, 5-time MVP, All-Star MVP, and an All-Defensive selection, which keep in mind, there would have been a lot more if the All-Defensive selections had started a little bit earlier. So again, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Russell is one of them ones. I hate it. He can't be, or I hate it. People are going to discredit him and not view him as the guy. Like people will constantly review him as a second option. When you think about his stats, though, that's first option caliber numbers, like 15, 23, and 4. That's disgusting. And keep in mind, they didn't record defensive stats back then. So it's not encompassing everything that you would like to see. But again, 15 points, 23 rebounds, 4 assists. Wild. Like, that's a ridiculous stat line, even in today's NBA. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I hate it that Bill Russell is not viewed as the guy, even though he's one of them ones. But it makes me question now, how should we start viewing the guys, right? Or the gals too, because this applies to women in WNBA. Because when we're thinking about it again, there's a lot of things that do go on into winning a basketball game. So I think this conversation kind of helps out the Bron stands, right? When we're talking about the Bron versus Jordan discussions. Until you realize too, though, that Buddy actually did do everything. So, but Bill, why does Bill get slighted over Jordan? Because, I mean, Bill did his thing out there on the court too. Jordan just has more quote unquote iconic moments. That's what separates them. But again, as I've been saying, Bill Russell, he is the guy. He is one of them ones. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm curious what you all are thinking about Bill Russell. So please comment below and let me know if I messed up on anything that I said. I definitely want to know that. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that does conclude the end of the episode. So definitely, I appreciate you all for listening. And make sure to like, subscribe, comment, tell anyone who's anyone about the show. My name is Trey. I'm the host of Get a Bucket. Hope you all are having a good one. Yo to the noobs. Take care.